You can be up here. Live. Be alive. Okay. Well, 11 a.m. on some day. Let's do this thing. Okay. So, last time we were taking off, and I formed a bit of a plan. And my plan mostly is that these two bases and this lead thing is pretty much the only thing in this I want right now. I'm not even sure I want this pad or this. I want this base too. I keep forgetting that's a base. But this chord thing, definitely I don't care about it for sure. This though, we're gonna mess with that. So let's give us a taste of what's going on and just straight up get rid of that and feel what's left about it. I'm not even really sure about. By not sure, I mean I'm pretty sure I'm going to delete all that. But moral of the story is this thing happening here is kind of what the theme of the track is now. But I have to extrapolate that into some other stuff because this can't be it by itself for the whole time. And also it's going to end up being what's in the intro. In fact, let's I wonder if I can. Like, this is basically historically the thing I'm bad at, which is attempting to sort of musically solve for some stuff. And at the moment, what I'm going to try and solve for is if I can, because I was also thinking about this the end last time too, whether or not how much more instrumentation I want to add around whatever the element ends up being. And also the other end, I was contemplating that I might want to separate these things into two different things. I see, there you go, changing the color. But for damn sure, I'm going to have to separate the synthesis from the reverb out of this because the mix cannot sustain both. I sort of knew that was always going to be true, and I thought I could get away with it. I cannot. What's up, McMuffin? Hello, Xenowave. Yay. Yes, breaking out of the loop is the hard part, and here comes that. So I've done this sort of. I say this once. I say like I've done it once, right? What I mean by that is that like I had an intention, I had a shape in my mind, and I thought it would work, and then it did. That is stupendously rare. Most of the time, like I feel like if I had to like what I'm doing to like a martial arts style, it would be Aikido, which is a lot of the art of how to fall down without dying. And that's kind of how I feel like I spent a lot of time when producing tracks. But hey, whatever, what works, right? Oh yeah, so playing here. This is pretty old school of me to just kind of ride the 3 and live with it. But like it works. It's not an incorrect thing to do. I might just leave that like that if I just reharmonize it. I gotta think of some things there. What's up, Cade Church? You're absolutely welcome for whatever could possibly be considered wisdom. Maybe. What am I in? E? No, I'm in F. I keep forgetting. I keep doing that. I should just write an E. But like, I have like mixing reasons to stay here. Nope. There it is. All right. Now, traditionally, the thing to do would be to do that, and then like go to like do some other note, right? Some other element, and wonder if I see if I want to be basic, which is not bad, but for some reason is a thing I avert. I could just go to the 4, have fun with that. It's probably gonna sound good because this is the 4 chord. It's 3 of the 4 chords. You know, I'm gonna do a whole. Go back to the 3 2. You just got 2, now I'm gonna get 3 2. I wonder if I just kind of want to chill it. All right, and then when this happens, when like this sort of worked, but I think I had to. That can't be the same note, but then this worked for its duration, and immediately you needed a different taste of something that happened after that. But now the thought is, do I want to go high or do I want to go really, really low, like down here-ish, which is is also right there, but the switch-ish, there's room for this sometimes. And then, or maybe straight 6. We're mentioning 6s. 6s could be cool. Let's do a 6. I haven't done a good 6 in a bit. Yeah, let's do a big ride. Big ride up. We're gonna go from here to that to like. I guess there's not a lot of room to do this, huh? Okay. What am I doing here and why? It's just an A switch. So then let's have you start at 3. But F sharp is the right. That's right. That's why this is fun. That's why 6s are fun, because the root is the 3. The fun 3. Yeah, go back up there, but that's just this thing. But is that gonna sound good? To go straight there? I'll find out. Yes, yes it will. Cool. All right, whole thing. Yes, I am absolutely okay with that. Somebody in the chat asked if it was possible to link, make coloring between channels and mixers and automation, and the answer is yes. But you set that up. You basically like just to do it on a dummy thing. If you just grab whatever, and you don't gotta drag and drop it like I got it. You can come in here and you can go track mode, and then just audio track, obviously, an instrument track, and this will be like cool. And I'll pick like something fun. Yeah, FM8. Hello, FM8. Hello, FM8, my old friend. There it is. Now, what's fun about this is that if I do any kind of whatever moves with it, and you go, kabab, boop. Oh, I didn't even see it. That's strange. That's never happened before. Move anything else. Can it not be automated? Can you not automate the mod wheel? Like, because that's usually the only reason you don't get the correct parameters out of this. I know you can automate this because I've done it before. Yeah, cool. That was weird. Anyway, there it is, but I haven't picked the color. Let's pick a color. Like, wee. Dark olive, sure, why not? And then there's auto name and auto color, basically. Holy shit. Oh, it named it from the channel. Derp. That's weird, but that's not the color. There might be some coloring issues going on with my version of the beta. This actually isn't the latest beta anymore. Not even the latest public beta. Like, there's beta 7 out now, and I'm using beta 6. I don't even clips. That's the thing what I wanted. But okay, but if this is this color, why isn't it? It's supposed to be linked. It's supposed to all be linked because it's a thing in there now. Because now it's in here. Oh, okay. Parts of this are working. Trying to tell you it won't work for bus mixer channels. Oh, yeah. You gotta do that manually. That's a good thought, though. The idea that, like, if you make a bus, a bus. Oh, it should totally do that. That's cool. That's a thought. Thanks for bringing that up as an idea. Yeah, no, it doesn't do it. That doesn't do a thing. But that does. Wow, that was handy as shit. Did you see that? I thought I was gonna have to delete a lot of that manually. Oh, so you can kind of manually make groups. You can do this thing, and like you could just kind of make these different mixer like tracks or whatever. And I don't think it's not going to have any kind of language with the mixer out here, but then you can manually make that happen. You can just kind of be like kapow and then cool a bus, and like have this be one of these guys already. Like it's like usual FL. Like you can kind of do stuff if you sort of have like Minecraft time. Which, yeah, I do most of the time, don't I? Okay, that works out. So, someone in the chat asked why not a 7, and it's not really fair to you guys, but because you weren't around for it. But when the Matrix came out, I was really, really into this progression. This like that kind of shit. So, I kind of reflexively avoid 7s. It's not anyone's fault. It just happens. The hidden patcher plugins presets. Can I try the hidden ones? The hidden patcher plugins presets? They're hidden? I mean, no. I'm not totally sure what you're talking about. They're that hidden. Okay, the plan that I had with this guy. So I did have a thought to separate this, but then I remembered I kind of can't because how cool the reverb sounds is a result of the high and low frequencies smashing. That's always the case, isn't it? But I think I am going to have to do some things with the source so that I can split it out as its own synth and it can exist that way. Because right now it's just kind of a thought. It just kind of happens and stops. Doesn't even be that epic. That's not so bad. Is theming already on the version? I think it is. I have no idea how to mess with any of that because I've really never been one of those people that cares to change the skins of FL. I've seen some results that are not bad, I'm literally like, no, wow, that's fun. This is cool. A new way to see this. Ah, there we go. Themes and stuff. Oh my gosh. Yeah, one of these days. So I think the resolve I have for this was that I was going to, like, this whole thing, including with the compression, essentially is going to be like the quote unquote verb chain, and then the outside is going to have this sort of like naked reinforcement of it. Which, are you gonna let me just do this? You are. Cool. That sounds like bad stuff, huh? Well, trying to figure out what I need out of each of these. Because the problem I had when trying to use this in the drop was if the only way that I could get the note of it to feel straight, like in it, was to have the air be way too powerful. And this is what I'm trying to solve right now. The note of it. Oh, damn. Also, I can't believe I haven't messed with this yet, but like potentially one of the coolest. Is it even in here? Where the hell is it? Is it not here yet? I mean, there it is. There it's not. There it is. Yeah. 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 Okay. This freaking thing. Oh my god. All right, I'm pleased as punch that this is real. Mostly because in hardware, one of the coolest things is just sequencing. Like oh my god. All right, here comes slightly old man sort of tech rant. Like, it's not really rant. Here comes the history of tech. So I realized, duh, they've been calling this thing the sequencer all my life, but I never really totally got how this is based on like a MIDI sequencer hardware way of living. And I didn't get that until I started to actually use hardware sequencers, like a really like, there's a track, there's some buttons, there's some output, like kind of sequencer. Like it has absolutely no features, no anything. And then suddenly many genres made sense to me. See, that's what happens. I use a tool like that and I can kind of see, the shape of requirement in the result, where it's like, oh, you did that because you couldn't do anything else. Trance exists because like your ability to change things was incredibly limited. So it was limited to a thing at a time insofar as changing. And that one of the hardest, freaking most annoying things about sequencing in hardware world is that like you write yourself an ARP and it's like, okay, cool, I need ARP. And then it's like, now I want to do anything other than these notes. I want to play like the next note up. And like keys exist. And keys are not something that sequencers care about. Although they can, the cool ones, modern ones can have all kinds of systems involved and whatnot. And, modern ones like a freaking DAW. Like, a lot about what DAWs are just kind of like giving us these superpowers to sequencers that sequencers wish they had when they were just hardware. And so much so that, like, I didn't even see the shape of what a sequencer was in the availability of what we do here. Like, do you? And now that this is here, this is really funny because I got used to a real kind of like interface way of living with that one sort of like the hardware sequencer, except for the part where I couldn't really use it to do like the ARPs I'm used to doing because notes. And now I have this, which means I can just do that way. And this just has those things in it where you can just give it ranges and types and places and areas and modes and Jesus Christ. Like this is going to be really cool. I'm very into that. It is just blue ARP. It's true. There's been note processors forever. I'm just super glad that there's a freaking FL native one. I mean, that's the part of it that I like is that like this is just going to be inside patcher now instead of having to tell people to go get blue ARP. Which that's just my problem with all third party stuff. Whenever I try to put out a package like a project or whatever, if I'm using some weird third party thing, it immediately reduces adoption. Is all. So that's fun, and I'm super into that, just being in there. And I forgot that was part of the beta. Like I thought that was coming later, but nope, that's in this one. That means it's in the other public one. So that means I was allowed to say all that just now. Yay, cool. Thank God I'm gonna have to. I'm just not. I'm gonna have to straight up. This was the obvious choice. I should have just done this first. Ta-da. Unexpected, but not unwelcome. Is FL better usable with 2 monitors? Yeah, I'd say so. I don't, because I'm streaming and I gotta capture a monitor, but in the times I'm not doing that, I got all kinds of visualizers and shit just kind of going. Miami Vice vibes. Yeah, we are getting a little synthwave, aren't we? Which is not really how this song sounds. That's getting there. It's doing it. I mean, anytime you kind of throw some saws together and play some vaguely spacey arp, it's gonna get that sound, that vibe, isn't it? See, I can do that now because that's there. Hey, wait a second. Is this not being side chained? No, it is. Oh, weird. I was expecting to see the block, the recursive block, but whatever. Wow, my snare. Oh yeah, it's because I started using this guy. I was like, my snare's not doing much. So now, for like basis of things, I'm all Mr. Careful about the phase rotation and whatnot, because this monstrosity is pretty effective, like insofar it affects things. But for this, for a thing that's a lot of chords and fast aimed up here, I do not care about how much it ruins it down here. I need it to shut up. So now that we're doing that, I mean, we have a bit of an opportunity to drive this a little bit harder, since now I'm curtailing it rather directly. This thing desperately needs direct compression, that's for sure. This wasn't doing anything. I was actually going to do the mixing in there, then I remembered, oh wait, I'm doing it out there. I could just be using Harmer's internal limiter, but I want to see what it looks like. I wonder if this is going to let me do this. Oh my god, it is. That counts as a later input, right? I hope so. Fat. Discussion about high passing coming up. So yeah, a high pass is not just a willy-nilly element of a thing, right? Like, for the most part, I stick to steep 4. And a big reason why is because it does this. It's the one that does not do that. And this is what I mean by being sensitive to my phase kind of information. And we also did have a whole talk about what it means to be doing phase on things like sub. So like this for example, like the sub activity is down here, and this is far enough away where this is not fundamentally altering the shape of the output too much. I know, because I looked very carefully to make sure that it wasn't. To that point, this is about how far away. But like this is how far away out here. That's like 300 hertz distance. That's particularly, short. So and on low frequency stuff, that's devastating. That could be a huge problem. Like for sub and bass, like I'm, Mr. Surgical about it. But for these things, it's about speed, and they are faster. They are angled faster, which means that this particular shape of devastation, which does mess with the phase profile, messes with it in a way that's safe. And this is the kind of careful you have to be when you are doing this. And it's a thing though that's also necessary, at least in my opinion, of how loud I want to make my track, because like I compare my tone to stuff that like what Feed Me makes, but I like my loudness up there with Dion Timmer, and the two things are not totally like doable together, because a lot of reasons why Feed Me stuff sounds as awesome as it does is because he sort of lets his dynamic range breathe. He lets it happen. And it like I know that ultimately if I want to sound like that, I have to do that, but I'm not going to do that. And as a result, I got to sacrifice some stuff. And some of that stuff is like, for example, this used to be the whole sound. This used to be the whole actual primary thing, and now it's just this. And absolutely layering together the reinforcement and doing all this crap I just did, like, is less perfect than if I had just let the sound be the sound. And that is like if I wanted to be perfect, I would have to do that. But if I did that, I'd be limited in the level of loudness I can achieve, which is fine for the content that you're working with. Like, you're supposed to be limited that way. Like, not all things can be all things in that regard, but a lot of the things can be shaved very close to be allowed, possibly touching what it's like to be the thing. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So the routing that I'm using to do this, why I was surprised that this was possible is because Patrick. Hi, I'm Patrick. Patcher here lets you output multiple outputs when you go to your routing and be like, yeah, cool, here, there they are. But they really only like prefer the ones that are after the patcher. Sometimes it lets me talk to things before here, but other times it really messes with stuff. So I just went to the next track as just naked, and that's cool. But FL also does this thing where it doesn't let you route tracks into tracks that are coming into it. So I a little didn't like. So like, here comes this. This is just, here's an output of this, and this output is this mixer is not routed into anything, which means that even though the audio is coming like not necessarily from here, but like also there, I guess it's because it's not really coming from either of these. That's why this is working. It's like because I'm using essentially this chain to sidechain this chain, but inside the patcher, inside the primary output of that channel, which shouldn't work, but it does because that's not actually the primary output of the channel. This is, which isn't in the mixer at all. So now I'm able to do this with this to get this to be the level I want. Yeah. So we're more discussing of how to avoid the certain pitfalls of the solutions in order to, like, required, you know, for doing these things. And the big one is just kind of planning for the fact that you're going to do this. Like, plan your sound design around the idea that this damage is going to happen to it, which sometimes means you can make it happen in such a way that it's not damage. That not just that it's not affecting it too thoroughly, but that it's actually part of it. It's actually an expected element that makes it sound the way it does. And that, I haven't done any of that yet, but that is an option. And that's how far you want to think to go for how far to use that sort of thing. Because it's like an every iota, I don't know how an inch would apply to this, but you know what I mean. You want it. You want all of them. Oh yeah, I'm not looking at this. I'm looking at this, which I guess is here now. I guess this is good. I guess I want to hear what this sounds like in a thing, but I need to consider. Yeah. So the traditional advice is to not touch an EQ super dangerously, like, at all. And there's no problem with this advice. The only issue with it is the source, which is to say ancient times. There's a reason why you wanted to not do that, and it'd be because it's not your sound. It's like an instrument that someone played a very particular way with a band in also a very particular way. And phase is timing. And it doesn't really seem like it, but doing that is like you're screwing with things like when and how a guitarist pluck to their pluck. And like they are, maybe they're thinking of these things, but in a band, all that stuff is syncing up in a certain way, and players are feeling that a certain way. And when they hear the recording and it doesn't feel that way, that's almost always why. Because the phases aren't aligning up in a certain way that they're feeling exactly in the moment, which sometimes is impossible because they're not in the right position or whatever. But like what that equates to is that you want to be as ridiculously light touch as possible when it comes to equalizing. And you see here, let's look at the phase rotations more. This even like screws with it, and it doesn't just screw with it insofar as like, oh cool, it has a shape change in a moment where it is. You see how it's also moving that? Like that's how absurdly sensitive like phase control is on stuff. And it has impact in the sense that sometimes I'm not looking at the number here. I'm looking at like the result of where the phase is, and I got to use the other guy to consider for it. And it is possible to consider for it, especially when your sound designing and your layers are so like individual, which is almost the whole reason why I ever layer anything. Because I'm almost always trying to get a sound that's like the individual element that like it plays its one thing, it gets its huge chain, and then it's done. I really want that to be how my sounds work. But like an instrument, like an instrumentalist, that's exactly how their sounds work. They play their whole thing through the one thing, and you get the one capture point, and then you have to live with it. And that means being really freaking careful. But in a world where not only do you not have to worry with it, but you can mathematically perfectly service exactly the exact everything you need where you need it, the rules are a little different. And the possibility of how you're able to like add stuff together is so far beyond what any like. Well, I say beyond what instrumentalists can do, but holy shit, I've seen some teenagers play some shit now that makes me rethink that a little bit. I have a couple of videos about phase things, but they're not as super legible, unfortunately, because they're not really about the topic at large. They're sort of about different applications of it. And to be fair, like, I trusted the old advice for a while, and I kind of still do, especially if like you get to a point where you make a sound by accident and like you don't have control and you aren't able to just like perfectly layer the things together because anything you do to it makes it not it. That's when you need to use those rules. That's when you need to be like the most careful in the universe and like not, and then layer all the crap around it to like solve your problems for you. But I try very hard personally not to end up in that situation, primarily because I'm not doing it right if I am. And I don't mean like I'm not making my songs right. I mean, I'm going to be in a position where my mixing decisions are like flat out wrong if I don't have that power. Which may or may not be the hard way of doing stuff, but hey, what else do I do? It's also super important for kicks. I'll tell you that much. Like, kicks are basically a 100% phase-based, like, existence. So all of the rules are about being as careful as possible and really, really, like, intentional about how things come together. Because I'm sure like, everyone, even like people who produce brand new, the first thing they do, the first time they ever put an EQ on a kick, the first thing that happens is that it just get ruined. And not for doing anything. You're just kind of like, okay, let's go, and it's dead. It's wrong. It immediately everything you liked about it is gone. Like that's when it's 100% because of those things, because of those rules, and it exists there a lot for sure when it comes to the fact of how loud we want to make some of this stuff. Okay, for damn sure, none of this is going to be what happens. Like, running through this is where, like, because that happening at all was mostly because of this, and I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get rid of that. Speaking of getting rid of, are any of you part of this sound? I don't think you are. I think you're just a big clunker that clinks. Yeah, you don't even have any service control, so that means you are. This is all you. Oops. It's all you. That's all you. You're for something, but what? Multi-band delay scale of what? Insert 16. This isn't like this. Ah, hey, it's the drums. Whoop. Kapow. See it grouped. Bam. Hidden. How cool. I mean, that's not new. None of that's new. That's like one of the oldest like current FL UI abilities. Yes. I'm gonna do that for this though, because this is all related to this one sound. That's also true. I didn't even automate any of the business in the intro. I didn't even try. I wonder what that'd be like. Oops. Yay, now I can. Yes. Person in the chat talking about the reason we don't want to do acoustic stuff so much is because it makes the room sound different and it makes the instruments sound like they were not in the same room together. And that is absolutely 100% correct. I have learned a lot about visual stuff lately, and the part of this happening, like you see how it kind of bends in like that? You can imagine if you're looking at like a magazine and the page folds inward. That's basically like if you do that to an image, that's what this does to the audio. And if you do have all things that are trying to sound like be in a room together, be in a space, that is an element of risk. It's totally gonna do that. It's 100% gonna do that. That matters pretty much only for that reason. Like if you're gonna listen to something where you can tell what's in a room and that's something that matters, that's when that matters. That's basically it. If you're doing big orchestra stuff, if you're doing like a jazz band, if you're doing like almost movie cinematic stuff, because sometimes they are like, oh, we do want it to sound like it's in a different room, and actually specifically this different room, and it gets real interesting. Fun, I can still hear the notes. That's kind of what I wanted too. I wanted the pitch to kind of remain keyed a little. It absolutely comes from professional pop production. It's what makes it. It's why it's popular. It's the energy and loudness thing, like the surgery of it. Because it's not really possible how loud some of those songs are to be like, oh, that's an instrument. But they know how to make it sound like it is. And it's with absolute knowledge of phase like relationship to make that happen in our heads. Like I'm big all on trying to like use it all the time and make stuff happen or whatever, but I'm not even as deep into it as the people who, for example, do Dolby Surround, who are able to mimic 7.1 surround audio with just 2 channels. That's all phase. Like I want to talk about sound like a different room. That's what they do to do that. That's like, it's just phase clippings and angles and tricks like that. And it works. It just fully works. Makes it sound like it. And like that's the coolest thing about like physical modeling. Like when you're learning how to do that kind of thing, it's not so much because you're trying to get the instrument. It's so that you can know enough about the instrument that you know what to give it to make it have power without making it sound like it's fake. That's what it's for. So this would be the rising, and this is doing okay. So I was thinking about different instruments to be all like around this, and even something as basic like a piano. And that's something I think I still might do. But what piano, though? I don't want to get too far into the third-party stuff, but I'm already using Superior Drummer, and that's kind of a lot. And I'm not really a big fan of a lot of the Flex pianos. I'm going to go for a Flex piano anyway. All right, well. I wonder if this guy's going to change color on me. Yeah, you want to talk about not understanding analog gear? Like, we got to remember this stuff is wildly new. Like, we're talking about phase relationships and stuff. And do you know that this science is not new? Like, doing that is like why orchestras are arranged the way they are. Why there's like a lower number of the lower frequency instruments and a higher number of the higher frequency instruments. It's super sauce. It's the same logic. It's the same stack for the same purposes, and it works the way it's supposed to. And the construction of the places they're in, not just like amphitheaters about like the bowl shape, it gets louder, cool. Like the literal like art structure, like the strange like slid up angles that kind of are happening in there. That's a deliberate effort to shape phase to help the instruments, because they're shaped the way that the instruments themselves are also shaped to put out, and it's really deliberate and direct, and it's very cool. Let's see what you like. Anyway, moral of that story is that like when we got to electronic stuff, we were not necessarily ready to have like the literal black and white power to just be like, okay, cool, phase harmonic. What do we do with this? Because like we're used to such like ridiculous limitations that's the kind of crap that we used to have to deal with for voicing. And we've only lived in a world where we're able to mess with it this directly for like what, 40 years, 50 years? It's very we're just coming to be like, okay, oh hey, phase relationships, like we know it's that, but like, you know, the Dolby thing, we just kind of just figured that out. Like we don't actually have to have multiple sources, we can just fake it if we've got two really good ones. All right, so that's kind of what I was afraid of about these Flex, this guy, because they're light, they're low, and that was not different piano samples. That was a low pass filter, and I'm not about that at the moment. Let's try you. Do I need more than that though? It's very electric piano sounding, which, you know, is fine, but maybe it's one of you, because I have some favorite ones. So that one's definitely filtered too, but it's like better. Is it the same sound? Some of these things, I'm continuing some chats here. We're talking about intuition versus like what sounds good, and things like the shape of a violin. None of that is intuition. I personally think that if we want to talk about technology and like what, like, let's say like what's the best piece of sound design technology humans have ever come up with? My imagination, the violin. That thing and how it works and how it's operated is like the most clear application of sonic understanding an instrument can have yet. Like brass instruments seem like they're really cool and all, but they have hilarious limitations that when you try to do things with, like, they can only be tuned to certain ranges. Like, you know, so too can like violins vis-a-vis the string sizes and whatnot, but that is the relationship, and it's direct and it's perfect, versus brass instruments, which are all bendy and wrong when they get close to their ranges. And like the understanding required for it to all be held together, because it's all of that is added together. It's all harmonically relevant to the thought of I keep writing an E, of the thought of whatever, like the thing is going to play and exactly the location it's going to play it. And oh yeah, geez, it's just so ridiculous. And like the next best thing after that is a piano, but it's only because really it's just a lot of those in a box, and like with more clever application of like the additive concept. Because if you think about it, a bow is a particle system. And that's sort of why it works. It gets a noise field that gets tuned via like resonant vibration to create perfect, like timed output. It's not really, it is an oscillation, but it's sort of not. It's very ridiculously good, is what I'm saying. Like the violin is like pure understanding in art and engineering. Like I'll never not sing its praises. And the applications of how we understand it with math and strings and whatever are just kind of just fractaled out into how stuff works into everything else, including like how you write things and how you mix stuff and why and what exact shapes to use and levels and moments and whatever. And the lessons in phase are vast when it comes to like when you get what violins have done, and you know, to a certain extent also guitars, and because it teaches you about rooms and spaces, because a guitar is a room, a violin is a room, a string is a room. It has a size, because if you change string size, like a guitarist knows this, you get a thicker string, a different profile happens. Like that's because the string is a room. I'm really low. I didn't realize I was that low. So I was kind of thinking, sort of some kind of glassy vibes here. And by glassy, I mean Philip Glassy. It's very like that's why I was testing the velocities, because I want to do some like up and downs, but I don't know if this library is going to work out. Everything is a room. It's true. I think it'll sound alright if that repeats. It might be too much. Nah, I don't do that like the last one. Like out here. Yeah, better. Kind of like do a. Sure. Because then it's mostly going to be like. Ugh, all right. This is mostly just about me being used to it more than I think. I think it sounds better, but I'm doing it. Boop, 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 bow. Yeah, those are actually different samples. I'm not expecting FL to have like the resources to just like whip out a freaking super good sampled perfect piano situation. That's why there are third-party producers, you know. Not as sensitive as I thought it would be. Alright, so we probably don't need. I'm gonna leave it down here. Is that gonna sound weird? Probably. Freaking major 7 in the middle of a minor moment. Like. And how did I end it? It was 4 and 6, right? You can get the high 6. Oh wait, look at that! Like I didn't even plan that. Yeah, but So I am actually just using the mouse at the moment, and that's because my freaking FL37 key and my Akai Fire are in the other room doing another thing, which no one has seen yet, and no one will at the moment. A little bit louder than I thought it'd be. Nope. But also, y'all be held. We're the Matrix now, boys. There, you see, you got your 7s eventually. Someone gave me $2. And daring me to say, "Hi, I'm Slooby." I don't have anything to follow that up with. Dare successful. Alright, so this nonsense is supposed to happen under this. Is that gonna work? Let's find out. One of these is not gonna. Let's do this. This is gonna be cool. At least I want this to be cool. This used to be cool. Like, I would do this kind of crap all the time, my old nonsense, and it would work out. It worked out sort of the way I thought it would. It doesn't need to be much more longer than that. In fact, like, straight up not. Oops. If you have nothing selected and you hit delete, it deletes everything. Get in here. You know, something I haven't tried with this dude yet is actually to do filtered stuff. Like, I have a filter, I have a pluck on it, but I haven't really. Do one of those. Not articulate or activate. Same thing on you. Oh yeah, I gotta do that on B too. Jesus. That's what I'm doing, right? Yeah. Newest one's always the last one. Yes. Where'd it go though? Oh, there it is. Alright, so that obviously doesn't have to happen, but like, you see the texture I'm trying to do here. Like, it can happen. I believe. I'm beginning to believe. Don't select other things. Bop, bop, bop. And like some of that, right? Like some. So I mean, by the time this happens, I'm expected to have to get out of this to get in here. Yeesh. like musically that makes sense, but texturally none of this is lining up. There's a lot of like I could get from here to there. I need like 2 more minutes of stuff, but like I want to be done by that before I get there. That'd be way too long intro wise. I could just start with this darkness. Like that's not a bad texture to have in the DJ-ish intro-ish area because it's not doing much. I can put like hats and crap over that. I'm all right with this, and this could be like the actual musical. Okay, talking myself into it. Let's do it. Actually, you know what? I am actually just going to keep this the same shape it is, though. What was that pitch shifty effect? That was the reverb channel. Not even in here. Why did I go in there? It's in here. This thing. It has a size character, and you can change in real time. And the result of that is that it gives a pitch change because you're changing delay times. That's how reverbs work. So if you change the delay time while you're playing a thing, it lowers the pitch of what it has currently in its buffer, and it sounds like that. So that's this. Does this has there, and that. I'm gonna make a different version of this. It does it really? This is, but that's this, right? It's not different than that. I hope it's not different than that. Does that look different to anybody? It's the same. Why did I do that? Well, whatever. You can get it shortened. I can just change it. That's all I'm doing. But hell, I'm gonna do that. I can do the second one too. I'm gonna do this, but without the. It could be funky. Oh, maybe we get our 7s after all. Oh, I might. This again, musically, this might make sense, but I don't know that this is gonna transfer into being part of it, because nothing musical is going to be happening at the moment. Oh no, I can make that this. I can make that what this is, but oh no. I'm saying oh no because not so much because I think it'll be bad, but because I know how much work that's going to be. All right, let's give this a go. It sounds like something. Am I ripping something off right now? I might be able to make that work. I might. Sorry if you wanted to actually hear that, but I don't, because that's not going to work right now. For one thing, I can barely hear the piano, and that's not because it's mixed, because it doesn't have power. Basically, there's nothing, but that's okay, because I knew that was going to be the happen. It was going to be the happen. I guess I decided to not do this in the patcher either, but whatever. Okay, I'll play the damn drop. With the thing on, to be nice. Wildly off theme now. then nonsense. Like I don't even. It's not even. That's not defined. Undefined space over there. And so now, okay, so some stuff, right? Like this minor second stuff, not gonna happen anymore. Like this chromatic nonsense, not happening anymore. And that's because we have a progression. So that's fine. This is the best case scenarios where I was able to basically feel that intrinsically. Ugh. Yeah, the highs are really phasey. In fact, actually, and particularly, like, you want to know why you're getting that sensation? That's because of this. Where are you at? It's being automated, and I know it's being automatically. That's what this parameter is. I kind of think I'm gonna not have so much of it. Oh, that's right, it's being automated. I can just do this. Oh yeah, and then like, okay, cool, but the snare still has that going on it, and guess what? Because it does too. I've basically been on a huge spree for like putting this parameter on everything. That's right, Afro's in the patch. Check it out, Afro. I'm using your kick. I'm using a bunch of people's stuffs. One of your snares too. It's in the other layer. I'm using it. I'm using this one as fundamental. Oh no, that's the metal one. There you go. Yeah, it's the metal texture. Gosh, you know what I really like about this texture? It reminds me of Demolition Man. You guys remember that particular era of like 90s action films that had that, like, it seemed like this the literal same set design crew, and then whoever was doing music would do that. This. But like on everything. Everything. There's higher notes on there. I don't know how to get. They're in the. Oh yeah, it'll be in here. Get married. I don't remember what they're just called bells, like, or something. Like they're super nondescript for what they are and how you play them, which is with a hammer. Clank. Tubular bells. That's what they're called because they're tubes. They're not a series of tubes. They're a What's the perpendicular version of a series? Well, I don't know. You know what I mean? Trying to make a deeper joke, but I can't. Because they're tubes. That's good. There they are. Oh gosh, piano. That was what I'm trying to do right now. That was what I was trying to do right now. So this is supposed to do stuff. I've been through here, so now I can just do this. All right, y'all. This is the intro, right? So it's like right around here. I wanted to get serious, which is like here. Come on, let's do that. Oh my gosh, perform vaguely around where the transition moments are, which are not here. The ends of bars. You can be weird. Thank you, strange pixel compression. And you guys. So like in the beginning they're all quiet and spooky, and then they get a little bit, and then now I want to hear them. And I probably don't want to hear them here. This is the bit moment, like, which means also y'all. That's cool because I can like do this. I can be like, yeah. Up again here too. You know, there's like processes and things I could do in here in this menu that process it exactly the way I'm doing it with the mouse right now, but I don't care. I don't care to find them. This is more fun. Let's see what that worked out to. Oh, well, first of all, that's melodically, or rather like velocity strategy, what's happening. I still gotta compress the ass out of this. Parallel, there you go. It's a parallel of tubes. So like, I'm tempted. I am gonna do that. All right. So now that I know that, let's be smart about this, because I'm going to avoid the problem I got into when I made this thing. Yeah, this thing with well, one of these things. Whenever, anytime I ever do this, where I get this thing in the chain. See, I tried to clone it. I didn't even use it. Moral of the story is, it's going to be, I'm going to set it up individually from the start. I don't care to use freaking Maximus on this. This can just be a straight like EQ and hit job. It cannot be how low that is. It is. Goddamn. Just in case. All right. Well. Oh, cool. It's mic'd up with a mic on the left on the hot. You know, like, it seems like a cool. Oh, it's Haddad. What's up, guy? Thanks for the. Does that symbol mean? Does that symbol? Is that what the Euro symbol is? No compression? Can I just live without compression? Like, no. No, I can't. I prefer. I kind of prefer the big loopy hit to the. Those are euros. Wow. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. All right, so here's a bit of strategy about avoiding the pitfalls of compression. So this is bad, what I'm doing right here. It didn't really work. I didn't really think it was gonna, but what I did there is that in the big hit moments, it doing the thing, it almost looks like an enveloped response to level, which is kind of nice. And that's sort of great because that's like, you know, it's not arbitrary in that right. It'll happen when it has to happen, which is when a lot of things happen. Like this is good. And this is then going to be what gets verbed by itself in a different channel without having to deal with it. Oh, I am only limiting it. Yeah, it's yeah, that's just the one compression that's gonna get. I'm not gonna do anything else to it. I'm gonna EQ it probably, but not until I get the whole thing, because I might end up busting it into its own effects stuff. So I'll leave its phase alone until I do that. I had a plan, and that plan was to do this first. But with some shenanigans. So far, all the shenanigans that I've done with this, we've done with one of them. So here's something funny about like talking about room dimensions. A delay as a thought of a room dimension is an expression of how far away is a surface from you. So like if you're in your room, you're looking at your walls and you're trying to calculate a delay for whatever element of how far away a thing is. It's about how far away is a surface from the generation point. But a surface is not just a surface. It's also the fact that it's probably angled and off kilter or whatever. And this is kind of the results you would hear a little bit. And it's about this idea that there are actually just surfaces that they're just a little bit farther from each other. It's kind of why parking garages sound the way they do. So let's see if I can get this to... That's the best phaser I've ever heard. Like, I need to see what that looks like. It's not a phaser, it's a flanger. This is flanging for sure. And the reason why is because what the whole concept of calling a thing a flanger is just to say that it's delayed from something. Usually the left channel from the right channel as a result of pressing on the flange on a tape deck. So in this case, the flanges, these are the flanges. These are what they are. And then this is changing how fast they all are individually, which is why it's changing grand, changing big picture stuff. And it sounds hilarious. Like, I like it. Anyway, I have plans for this, and that, well, okay. Step one of the plan is put it here just so that we don't die. Let's not hear this for a second. Okay, so how interesting. Tuning it to the note structures, changing it in the way it's. I called it a phaser because it had that octaved regulated relationship to it, and I was just into that. But let's see what happens when you do much. Well, I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised by this, but what happened is that it started to sound like a denser and more complicated room, didn't it? Like a couch. Neat, I've discovered convolution. Oh my god, it can always rebalance itself, because like if it goes this way, it does the pshaw. If it goes this way, it goes wah. Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, so this is definitely a multi-tap delay with the idea that like the next delay is each echo is calculated slightly different from the previous one. And you can just do that by just adding more than one delay, like with very short feedbacks. But this is not. This is like doing that. Like, oh my god, there's no like involving with these. I like the plan though with the 50% dry. I utilize that one. It's like alpha layers. Anyway, the whole point was to do this as having to be the thing that goes into the reverb. Of course. Oh. That I dig. Haha, is this my favorite reverb? It is now. And you want to know why else is my favorite reverb? It's because it has built directly into it level-based envelope control based on the input that applies just to the things I care about messing with. All right, so here's how we're gonna mess with this. I'm gonna take a prelimiter peek at the peak control source, so it'll be a slightly more dynamic version of the source. And I'm gonna use this to apply to some of these guys. And I'm definitely going to need to do that with an XYZ controller, because I'm not going to try to figure out the math to make it fit in the ranges I need to. Okay. So you're here, and you're here. You're all... Wait, no, not you. You guys. You need to be here. Where's number one? Number one! What? Oh, which one are you? Insert 38. Dirt. Alright, cool. So I wanted this guy to kind of basically be like right there. So there it is. All right. And then same basic thing for the rest of these dudes with the other dudes. Doodly dooders, doodly doodies. So you're like Uppenstein. Oops, did I put this? Okay, good. I thought for a second I saw this guy move and I was like, oh no. That guy was sensitive. Did you see that? That was a lot. And then, okay, another one down. So you get Z. You get peak. And you get map. 2-ish. Here-ish. Kind of life. See, this is the sort of thing that makes me want to have two of these. I'm always like that, and that's exactly why I had to separate this into something else. Look at that automatically already be automated automatically. Oh yeah, but wow, no feedback, none of that. Holy shit. Okay, so you normally moving this thing causes some pretty deliberate pitchy nonsense, but that just was just like a textural change. I want to automate this nonsense. Do I want to start higher? Nope, I want to do both. I want to do both. Why am I dry rating plugins that are already 50-50 intensity? All right, so when I do crap like this, it's because I set up a system that was a way that I needed to be the way it was, but with like a grand adjustment. And like rebalancing them in my mind. Like literally, yeah, I should have done that. That was the correct call, but like that was me reconciling my own like, well, I should have done that kind of thing. What the hell has happened to the reverb? Oh yeah, wow. But the dark pitch was where it was before, and it was good. Like I could hear it, at least. Oh, that's because it was the like reverb. Okay. Let's so this is funky. Okay, so the main lead thing is centered-ish. I mean, I'm not like modeling it, but it's more centered than its reverb is. But this one, the piano, the main guy is more spread than the reverb is. And that's an interesting layer. And I wonder if that's actually helping me here. Okay, cool, because this is giving me nice like arrangement ideas insofar as how I should alter some stuff. Because this was just this is just a progression, but I could definitely heard some like I need to make some rhythmic adjustments on how this low end is playing its part. And this beginning, like this is just gonna do one of these. I guess I could try and be like big about it, but I'm worried. See, what I think is that I think that's the right call. But I'm worried I'm gonna note it up a bit and be wrong, and like not get back. Like that part didn't sit with me. It did over here though. Oh fuck, because this thing hasn't been following. This thing hasn't been catch up. I haven't transputted. Damn it! This isn't playing the progression. Ah. Okay. I'm gonna exclude this thing for a second and do that. Okay. I'm like, why isn't it as impactful as it needs to be in certain sections? Because I haven't done it yet. Thinking about things is not the same thing as doing things. So I don't totally think I want to just follow this alone. So what? Yeah. So it's fundamentally it's just doing this shit. And then it repeats it right there twice. I need to change that. That's interesting because I was really going for like a longer, and it kind of feels like it. Okay, I'm gonna have to baby this a bit. There you go. What's my actual? It's fours and sixes. It's not gonna be that hard to. I just did it faster. I just went way faster on everything. I really meant to be slower than that. Can you even hear that note? I went to that 6 early. What is that? That's there. Kinda. To do that, but then like, because what are you? This. What is that? A 7. Shit. That's usually the thing that doesn't work when I try to do it. I need to layer this in somewhere else. So that makes it feel like it's intentional. The ARP saved me. Well, okay, well the ARP was doing it. That's why I did that, because it had a D moment. Oh, I see. You want to have that Reese sandwich effect, huh? I did mean to make a Reese like I went new school with this one and made it LFO based, but I think I could make a kind of old schoolier one for the intros and breakdown bits. That could be a thought. Okay, so initially I had this section have this melody continue, but now I'm not going to do that. Now it's just going to end. It's going to... That's just going to do, it's going to ring, and then the bottom guys are going to take over. Ah, Sako, what's up? What? Why is it still dead? Huh? What had happened? What? Oh, I turned it down for some reason. Oh, is this the level? Is that level routing thing being okay? Fine, fine. Oh, I'm smart. All right, so I was using the automation for the input on this thing, but this is using all of this to guide that, and that's not the same signal. But I can make it the same signal. Oh wait, I didn't even do it. Why was it just working? Because I turned it up. Wow, you know, I really compressed the shit out of that. I call it a computer, that piano. That's way late in the late there. Let's see what this is like. Hell yeah, Paul. I've been tracking it. I've been ready. I'm excited. I have a lesson later, and then pretty much when I'm done, I'm gonna rebuild. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be great. All right, so I also didn't really want this thing to be the main instrument either, like this thing it totally is. So like I gotta remember that about this using this piano. Oh shit, I forgot. Because this is doing the thing in the here, so I have to. Damn it. Do I just not want the high frequency textures of the piano? Like, do I just really not care? What do I need to have happen here? So it needs to open up a little bit more than that here. But I wonder if I do, if it's gonna be a little large. I didn't know I needed that in my life, but I guess I do. It's these lower notes in the piano that are getting me. Because I made them this dark texture, but I did not use the dark velocity. The dark velocities. Which is to say, my face is defeated, is what it's to say. Just not so much. So like, yeah, Reese's, right? Because it needs to be like a hit, basically. Like, we need to introduce power. This all could be an error of whatever, like the drums can kind of stuff, and then you just do like in here, like the Reese. Oh hell yeah, all that freaking ZGE stuff. I forgot about that. Like, absolutely, this shit will make great intro fodder. I'm afraid of how loud this is. Everyone get ready. I'm playing it. Here it comes. That was a mistake. That was a low note. Yeah, that was me very intentionally trying to capture notes, but I'm not going to use them as notes. They're not going to get used as notes. Oh, you know what? You know, our Harmer Reese was one of those in there as a resample. That's a great idea. Let's do that. Gonna use a patcher. Freaking use a patcher. Why would I do anything else? Give this thing room for some buses. In the land of the lost. All right. Okay. Where is all day? Probably in here, right? Get out of here. Random automation clip. You know, I really wish detached stuff weren't just on top of everything all the time. Okay, that's the one with devastation in it, and this is the sort of normal looking one. So let's try this one. Relax. Information. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This I must experience. It's a little talky. It's doing it a little bit. Like there's some. I think I can get some texture out of this I can use. Not you. Wee. Unison is different, isn't that what I'm using? That sounds like an army talking, like, That seriously sounds like Uruk-hai's from Helm's Deep doing their, like, chant. Look at the, like, waves it made. Okay, so these are from visuals. Remember that this is from visuals? Like, it's actually making shit happen. This is neat. Look at this weird looking, like, Geiger shit. Oh! Why is it doing that? This is happening. Wow. Alright, I'm trying to get this into a higher note, though. Shit. How interesting that they detuned it, though. What the hell note is this? Like, if I'm not playing... Oh, it thinks I'm actually that low. Okay, well then... Patcher. There we go. There's a lot of shit in here. Ah. Like these two. Like, look at them. Hi there. You know, I remember this, and I wanted to see what this was gonna be like. How weird. All right, let's see. If I do this, and then what do I want to do? I want to smash this against, because I could just mandate that this doesn't have Mr. Low Guy. So I used to do research like this. I'd be doing this, and then come in here and be like, you're not, you know, like this. And just be like, why did it up? Is that the same note? Hope so. And so we're messing with this, and we haven't even messed with the form and stuff yet. But we definitely can. Gotta be faster than that, though. The auto square version. So now we can double unison. We can do like regular sort of tonal unison on this side to get that result. Never fails. Yeah, but let's be special about it. So I guess like what texture am I actually looking for here? Because basically this is gonna come in and be all like, I'm a Reese. I'm here to Reese you. Sort of prepare us for this sort of thing. It's gonna be like, you know. It'd be like coming in and doing all this stuff, and it's just like. And so this guy is gonna come in and be like, that, but like darker, way darker. Also very much more specific than this. Personally, I think the custom shape should be the first filter they give you, but I know that would confuse too many people. It does immediately change, doesn't it? It'd be kind of weird if it did, if it just sort of stayed there. But I wonder, I want to see what it feels like to stay on the same note, even though I know. I already know the answer, still gotta experience it. Yep, I didn't even need to finish it. Alright. Do it. Do it. Okay, this could be fun if I do like a whip you way back up here and then like a little bit faster, right? Like what? Oh, the power's not long enough. Ah! Up, 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 we say. Well, you know, I could just lead in on this, like this, right? Like, do like a go up there. Okay, yeah, but if we're gonna be Mr. Keyboard Surfer, then we're gonna surf some keyboard. Oh, you know what I have not tried even a little yet is to do this resampling business, but with like good layer there. Putting the blur after it, and then putting the prism after the blur. Oh crap, where's the image in here? Is it just in the beginning? I hope it's in the beginning. I hope it's not volume articulation. That'd be annoying. But let's try this. Do I care about the blur at the moment? I don't think I do. We'll find out in a minute. I'm just gonna go straight. We're not even gonna do this like whippy shape. We're just gonna. See you doing it. Yeah, and then that's what I wanted the blur for, was to smooth out some of that transitional. Not a whole lot of reason to do this, because this blurs it vertically, which basically removes the character or whatever we're doing. I kind of want the character. Alright, well, now that we're doing that, this could be one of the things that, for example, we can, like... Wow, that's interesting. That's pretty much the whole range of articulation we got here. This should have the opposite effect that it's currently having. But that's okay. I can still leverage what I wanted to do. So I could follow this particular. And I wonder if this is going to sound too terrible if I do it. I do want to reset the phase eventually. It'd be kind of a high. I keep forgetting it doesn't just automatically increase it. That's way too long to live like that. At least with that modulation. Because this definitely needs to get modeled down, like, a lot. Because this isn't in the drop. Although, I guess I could put this in the drop now. Let me guess, right? Fast enough. Or higher. High enough, it doesn't matter. That's way too fast. An amount of that high D in there, but not that high or that long, and all of it is wrong. Did I do it earlier? Is that what that is? Wow, I might have been. Yep. Cool. All right. What about this high note? This guy? It's not going to sound like that for very long. I'm going to absolutely get some filtering nonsense to clear that up, like, to make that not sound like that. Most of this is not going to sound like this for much longer than this, because it is not dark enough. That's because I have mostly the distortion in here doing this, and I'm going to have to put some post filtering. All right. Well, I mean, okay. I never tried to live like this, but I wonder. just felt it. I felt it in my bones. My bones. Where though? Yeah, that was this one. Yeah, from down there, that's way too much. That's the other nuts. Nuts. The actual F was that. That's not my ball. Shit. Alright, fine. I feel like I'm arguing with this reset I'm making. This thing needs a blur mask. It shouldn't sound this. Oh, it's because of this and that. Yeah, focus. Oh, duh, because I did this. I guess I kind of am okay with this. Like, this isn't that bad. I also expected it to be kind of worse. So, to that end, we're gonna make a. Because it could be like one of those, like, it's not. Commit legibly. It's weird how that doesn't feel like it's the right note, like it's not like the right sub. Last time, again, I got all in the weeds with the delays and the verbs, so I'm going to definitely not do that this time and just straight off expect to have a sub out there. And then I'm going to make this guy dry good. Dry goods. Oh my god, I should make a sample pack and call it dry goods. That's so good. That's what basically what's happening here. Is like I'm going to make this sound its best self as though it were like the main element, which it never will be, but it will be used to be the thing that makes the outside of it work. And that includes having the full bass in it, even though I'm totally gonna high pass it. 9,000 dB too loud. Like, what? This is just sound design right now. I haven't mixed it in here yet, but like that, like defeating everything right now. gosh, this is gonna be really cool when it all right, I've already begun the complication universe. Here comes complication universe A. Look at that. I typed in where I wanted to go, and then that's where it is. Step 2, P controller. So you won't know where you are because I keep using you. I don't do a lot what I'm doing right now, and usually when I'm doing it, I'm not doing it for this. Point 5 plus A minus B. It only works, okay, I just realized that thing I'm trying to do only works with all the energies in the system, and I'm not using all the energy, and so it's just coming out wrong. So instead of trying to be like, oh, I'm going to target it to the area of the effect that I think it's going to exist at, I actually have to make grand whole picture, like, half and half shit. So, here's this. Here's this. See, it's doing it. You can see it do it, but it's not doing it enough. I just gotta wait it. What I was really trying to get done there was, and now I'm also, god damn it, I'm now also really realizing what I need to do. Because I'm trying to get it to be spectrally aware. I'm trying to get it to be like, when it has higher frequencies, it's at one end, and when it has lower frequencies at the other end. And I have to note track that. And I can. I can. Things I asked for myself to do. Like, I know this is gonna happen. I don't think I actually had to do that thing I just did, but I did anyway. All right. So basic ass note tracking. And now, what? 5, you, and you are both following it. So then, you know, because what happened was when the pitch got higher, it got lower because the energy of the sub entered into the detection zones. Now I have to move the detection zone so that it's correctly reading which half of the note I'm playing has more energy. Has more energy. Which I think this actually works now. Nope. That could do it worse. But why though? Well, okay, now that I know that I've split it up this hard, let's actually try to split it up. Oh, it's because they're both the same value, derp. Like, one side is the whole thing, and the other side is nothing. Okay, so I have to offset it. I need to offset it, like, a lot. Yeah, not that much. Keep forgetting I can see all three things at once. So that's basically... See that? See what's up? All right, so then this has to be a bit like hugely overrepresented, because that's always going to be the same value. Minus A times 2? Or B times 2? So I want to just do that. Like, let's try that. Kinda. You know, absolutely close enough. That I honestly, it's doing the job, which is that it's moving in the direction I want it to when the spectral behavior happens. So like, it's gonna mean that the thing is gonna feel like it's attached to it, which is what I want. So cool. All right. And I'm attaching this. I did all of that. Why the hell did I do all of that? I did that because I want to move one of these. I want to move one of these to it. And I want to hear what that sounds like. Oh no, it's going to be devastating. Like, and that's why we have this dry channel and basically the everything else channel, because of the devastation. So here goes that. Actually, nope. Here goes this. We already playing a bit? Nope. Already ridiculous. Oh, that's so good. I wish Patcher was more versatile with mini IO. I use Patcher to do MPE in FL. Like that, like this thing is, cause look, okay. Every one of your MIDI ports right there. Ready? And also every one of your MIDI ports right there. You could just put MIDI to MIDI. You can direct connect your Patcher just playing out of FL without having to talk to FL. Like you just have your port set up and this just does it. Honestly. I mean, unless you're talking about like the voice effect stuff, in which case that's true. But then there's this. Hey, that's where that is. One day it'll be great. But yeah, this thing. So this is gonna move. This is gonna move. That doesn't gotta move. That can stay there. That's gonna move itself, which is what this does. This actually changes this parameter per this thing based on the level per band. So you can see that it bouncing up and down. It bounces up the feedback with it. It's really cool. Good. I don't know. They just put the X put, yeah. The X put. X put, Y put, Z put. Just out. Pop, boop. Alright, what do you? So bottom guy's morph? Yeah, so that's Y is morph. We'll start it kind of low on that one, but this one is going to be interesting because I want to start from middle bit and go to out bit. That's hilarious. That sounded awesome. fun. Okay. All right, so let's talk about what I'm fighting here. Basically, like the size command inside the filter or the reverb that changed pitch a lot. This is changing pitch a lot. I could just do this, but this is what'll happen if I do. Kind of sounds like nothing happens, and that's sort of why. But that's also sort of why I did the bus thing, because I knew that there would be consequences to doing what I'm trying to do here, and it would be that, and it wouldn't sound all that great, but then it would need to be reinforced with the OG correct man, which is this dude here. I'm realizing I did my I kind of wanted to do the other way around there, didn't I? There we go. Neat. Why is it again not putting that? See, now normally I would have to high pass some stuff, but here we could just do this manually. Pop up. Oh, I gotta do that in every single one of these. Dirt, 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 dirt. Now, I have not tried truly short reverbs with this yet. Like, you've seen me basically, like, sort of do it, but then I went nuts and made it big. So let's try to actually make a small one and see what happens with all the funkiness it's got. I guess I want to make this... Oh. That sounds so cool. Holy shit. Fun. So we were talking the physical modeling stuff and how this is all like, oh, each of these describes like basically a surface that's a certain amount away from you. If you want to go the next step deep and go, all right, what's the material of that surface? Because the surface has thousands and millions of like visibly textured elements about it. And that's sort of what reverb's about, is that it creates that specific diffusion. We're talking about being in a space. This is working out nice. Okay, it's still got a lot of weird low frequencies in it, which it doesn't need. Holy shit. Did you hear that knock just happen just there? Like the whoop, whoop, whoop. It actually kind of feels like it's like slapping you a little bit now. That's that face stuff we're talking about. That the fact that I just did this and put it here means that instead of being wom 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 wom, it's physical, real, for real. That it has a direct impact on shit. Like, it is a real, actual thing to have to care about a lot, because that's what happens. Sometimes it can be used to your advantage. This is what we're talking about the sound design thing, where like that wappy bit is not that bad. It's not, but like if also I want to do that on purpose. Is it just the gain that makes this feedback? Like, I can almost hear it. I almost can hear that work, but that's not quite. It's not quite doing it. Let's just give it. Let's give it a little like a light textural change instead of a big one. You know what? Maybe I can make it work a little harder. Let's do this. Oh, okay. So what I was trying to get, because like, all right, what I was trying to get done out of this was not necessarily to see that big loopy bit in there all the time, but because it is in there all the time, I'm able to use it to do a thing which I did here, which is that the glistening bits reese a little, just a little, and I think it adds to that texture a bit. But this also still needs to be mostly highs. Why does it keep showing me this whenever? Oh, because it is coming out here now. Okay, sidechaining time. Because this isn't in the intro. Like, there's no drums in the intro, but this is totally going in the drop. What is this that I didn't sidechain? This must be that piano verb. And it's also not being sidechained because it's not in the drop. I don't think it's gonna be in the drop, so it could stay that way. Come here, snare. So here's where I'll do the high pass for the sub, because we're doing this side chain for it, which you guys are just guessing at this point, because we'll find out if I ever try to layer it into the drop if it's going to work out well enough. And yeah, some people have mentioned that like doesn't PVC take care of the problem that like this is, and it totally does. I'm just being weird muscle memory mad about it, and just keep reflexively doing that. Well, you were talking about the wet dry stuff, but like it also applies to that. It's because that's the whole reason I do that, is for caring about delay stuff. This can be that steep because stuff's not going to be down there. Well, I'm also not doing the right thing, because I was realizing I was trying to solve for as though I had already done the high pass, and I have not already done the high pass. It really feels like I'm playing a note that's higher than it's supposed to be. So normally this would be kind of hard to match. Ah, damn. This is going to be kind of doofy. So normally I'd be doing my perfect sub concept, but once again, because of reasing it, I can't like match it with the fact that I've done it like this. So that means that we're not going to do that, and because in the intro, it's okay. And when it comes time for the drop, I might just have to replace it. So the way I'm going to do this is that we're going to not have our top bit, and we're not going to distort it, and then this should just be the nice Reese. And it definitely needs to be pumped up. Doing this just in case I need to actually. How loud is my other subs? Nice. So then. I'm gonna match it here. That's gonna be neat as hell to mess with that. All right, someone asked a question about buses and sentences about how it was CPU problem. So once upon a time, if you were to collapse like this guy and this guy, like if you routed these both into the masters, they would be independently calculated as an independent like parallel process. So it would actually, you know, multi-core, multi-render process. But then if you were to like bus it into a bus, that would suddenly become a single core. I don't think that happens anymore. And I think that was solved around the same time it was solved for Patcher, because once upon a time, every single thing you did in here used to be single threaded, no matter what. And that was impossible. It would have been impossible to play this patch. And now it's not. Now it's all multi-core, multi-rendered all the time. So I don't think that problem is a problem anymore. I might automate the reverb to kind of come in and out of this one, because the purpose of this dude is mostly to be just kind of like, oh, hey, a bass for a second. And then absolutely when it goes into the drop, it's really only going to be there for one of these guys, for one of these like bits, like right at the end. It's not going to be anything that epic. This is honestly just part of this stack. That's why I've been focusing on this here for so long, because it's part of this stack. Oh, you know, that's a fun thought. What if I manually? If I mess with this, it'll destroy it. Or it won't do anything. Why did I couldn't even tell what it was doing? That basically was what I was looking for. So the character goes away completely if I do this. But it's still there. The width of it. The width of the reverb. Okay, awesome. This is going to be my intro mechanic. Whap. No, wait, other way around. Yeah. As such. Oh, I didn't even do this part of it with it. Yeah. That's it. Sitting over there doing mixing. without the mix. So I plan on doing big old like hits and impacts and stuff out here, like big, kind of things. So that doesn't. This isn't going to be here. Okay. Wait. Wow. I guess it did need to be there. It's a pretty good case to be made that it's not the DBA thing, though. Only 200 if it's not the actual bass. So that I want it to be like out of there and then like in there. Be great. That's nice. I like that. I'm definitely gonna. I'm gonna like put up the wind on this, like, bah. Or you know, okay. So like that'd be the thing I'd be doing because I think I would do that on this sound, but I should just do a different independent noise sample. I should just do that, make it seem like that's what I done. That would be the smarter thing. I'm not going to do that, am I? I'm going to do the thing I decided that I said I shouldn't do. Yeah, it's okay though. Damage control, damage control. Basically, everything is damage control. So this is up here in basses land, which is my. Give it some space. Oh, cool! You're on the bass. Nice. Nope. There it is. Cool. Just kind of hang here into that, and then there'll be some more, and just kind of this thing happens. Like, guys, this none of this. This is like a different song now. This is so tuned for something that was not happening until a second ago. All right. So Perculum showed up and gave me $20. Thanks, bro. Today's been a profitable stream. I should do a tutorial how to bass. That's on my April Fool's lists. I have a whole list of ideas I could try for April Fool's that I never come up with before April, because I'll come up with it like now, right? Like October. Then I'll forget, right? That'll happen. All right, so the grand master plan for this track is we have our progression. That's cool. This I'm just gonna rewrite the bass line to fit the progression. Like, it's just about moving notes and to be in the right key. That's fine. That's not that deep. But once I do that, that'll give me an avenue to be able to basically just slice this up and just stick it in there, like Skrillex style. Just to be like, here's my drop stuff, here's my melodic stuff. And as long as I do them in the right rhythm, it sounds like it's the same song. And then I must build my intro, like riser kind of concept, and then also arrange this into being kind of a breakdown-ish also concept that can fill between here and here. And then also find somewhere to put this, like in there. Like probably with this guy. Like this dude and that dude might be a fun kind of call and response experiment. This one's almost doing the progression, so it's not that big an alteration. I guess that is what we will do next time whenever that hell that is. Like, I kind of, you know, my sporadic sort of streaming where it's like, do I got some hours? I got some hours. Working out better than me trying to schedule it. So that's what's up with that. It feels like I want to put 10 tracks of effort in one track. I kind of do. Like, it's not really a productive thing. The only reason why it's productive is because I'm doing the making of the thing basically as performance art, and that's actually the thing. Which is why I'm able to put 10 tracks of effort into one track, because I actually kind of get a return on it. Isn't that nice? Anyway, if you have any questions about this, please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. And as usual, have a nice day. Where's the off button? There it is.